Hi guys, my name is Rudo, and this at the moment the market is falling, and the question is very simple: how low will it go? How badly will it impact my altcoin bags? The coins we were looking to buy, the new hot narratives everybody is shilling down your throat. Are they going to hold support? What's the story there? So it's an interesting day, nevertheless. So let's quickly have a look at this chart where we're at now, and for me, there was a simple, clean line drawn in the sand, and I need to make a tough decision myself. Let me explain. I wanted the market to remain bullish from this buy down or sell off to 91. So, as predictions go, or an idea of how the market should and have to move, the idea was when we were here that we're going to go make a higher high, come back, maybe test it, because the more you test a demand zone, just the more it cements in the argument that there is buyers for that price bracket. Okay. And then from that point on, the big worry was that if we do not get above 96, the market won't do this, meaning we needed to get above this, trade it above the supply line that I've got you on the screen, and test it, and then it's off to the races. But it seems like we're not going to be getting above the supply line. So now the daily time frame for Bitcoin is turning bearish, which is bad. Okay, now does this mean the weekly time frame is bad? Let's quickly scale this to the weekly, and we can quickly have a look and see. Okay, so from a weekly perspective, and let me just remove that, and maybe let's move the RSI. Let's maybe clean the whole screen while we're at it. Let's clean the whole screen. While I'm doing that, guys, say hi. Let's see who we've got on screen. We can see that we're in a bear market, because the viewership, my TA and my personality hasn't gone to shit overnight, but the viewers is gone. So definitely, people aren't interested in crypto because they're feeling the pain. So this is good. It's a good bottom indicator. I'm just worried that the bottom is going to be much lower though still. So just, just putting it out there, jokes aside, let's quickly have a look at this. From a weekly point of view, we had Bitcoin consolidate in this for the whole of pretty much last year. Okay. And then near to the Trump elections, everything just turned really bullish, and we had a nice Trump pump. That's what the people dubbed it. Now, from this price action to that price action is the big thing. There is strong bearish divergence. We know this. I've showed you guys this, and I'll bring back the RSI and you can see it clear as daylight. So it's not that we were blind to the fact that there might be and there could be a sell-off. It's all good. We know this, okay? The rule with any strong bearish divergence, though, is that you do not look at any strong bearish divergence and just say, oh, it's going to go to shit, because the market will give you many of these strong bearish divergence scenarios, and it could still remain bullish. The key to this is price should not fall below the previous pivot created. And that's what we've seen now from the weekly time frame. So if we fall below 71, that's really bad. That's bear market. Then we're talking again. But it doesn't help us for our alts, because me saying, yeah, there's room to go down to 71 and still then bounce and go like crazy, that means that some of your altcoins, Cardano sitting at 90 cents, can go back 30, even 20 cents. And, by our reasoning, just reasoning, and that means that it's not something that you necessarily, big moves like this, can just hodl through. Because that's what we typically try and do with weekly, monthly type time frames. We're trying to just work at, can I still be in this? Is it okay? Or should I think about getting out? Okay, and that's the big thing. So these massive retraces do have a big implication on our bags, and especially if you're heavily invested into new narratives, this is the kind of move that will destroy a new narrative investor. So that's why I always tend to focus on the big ones, and I put gamble money in. Like I said, money that I would lose on a trade, that kind of money into a new project, because it's going to go up 1,000x if it's successful in any case, and that's enough. It's good gains. But when this happens, I don't end up getting wrecked. Okay, so now that we have this, we do have areas where within this weekly we can bounce. Okay, typically, if I then were to look at this, just this price structure as it is, okay, where would I want to bounce? Okay, well, this is realistically where I would really want to reinvest in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin isn't the coin that we're in question. So previous bull cycles, what I mean by that is previous bull cycles, the time to invest in Bitcoin was there, okay? But once we start doing this and you start creating these pivots and the market sells off, I don't want to invest. Therefore, I'm also not waiting for these buys, because it's not going to listen to my brilliant idea each and every time. Okay, it's going to sell off and find a support within that range, hopefully, and continue onwards. And the fact that the dominance starts turning bullish in that scenario means that people with a little bit of sense are looking at it and saying, okay, it's going up, it's great, but it's not an investment, it's a trade. I would rather wait for a prolonged discount before I can really think about investing. And that's where we are now. So although Bitcoin is coming back down, and I'm talking about $71,000, the reality is, even if it's there, people will still be reluctant to invest in that because the upside isn't worth the risk in that sense. Okay, so kind of way of thinking about this. So in that case, it means that the liquidity that is driving this will potentially not go all the way back down there. It will find some sort of a base here and go. And it's that base that I want to investigate with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go to the comments, see what you guys are saying, where you guys are at, and then continue on looking at that base. Okay, let's see what we've got in the house. RUNE is here as always. Stanku, JJ, hi guys. Evil Twin, I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, buddy. Could today or tomorrow the spring for a new move up be the spring for a new move up? Yes, definitely. And that's what I want to show you guys, because I want to zoom into this now and talk about that. Gari network, stuff like that. I'm not going to look at any of those things. Sorry, my friend. I kind of stepped in this last week and got nailed by a couple of scammers that kept on promoting their coin to get looked at. So I'm rather just going to look at stuff I know and then go and investigate and bring it to everybody tomorrow, if you don't mind. Marta's asking, can we hodl at 90K? I think I kind of answered the question for you in a sense. The true hodl zone would be 71 or nothing for Bitcoin. Alts, completely different story. Okay, so let's go back to daily time frame now. And let's have a look at this. So my last long-term leverage Bitcoin position is currently sitting at $87,000. Okay, so it's sitting within this demand. So it was basically price moving up. We were consolidating there, and the bet was there was at that stage no bearish pivot. So let me just replay so you can see what I had as a reference. Okay, at that stage, no bearish pivot for me. Now, I'm not looking at candle to candle divergence, because if you try and find a narrative to be bearish, you will always find something. I'm looking at the fact that price needs to go and make a higher high before I can even consider this as a bearish move. So add to the momentum. That's basically what I kept on doing. Now I'm sitting with that position, and the question that I have is, am I going to let this thing stop out above, or should I maybe take a little bit of profit? Because if I believe that the market's going to come back down into the 70s, why give away some good gains rather than take the profit and then in any case wait for this move? So that's kind of what I'm wrapping my head around with this kind of structure. So let's reset this. And I'm going to go about answering my own question to myself with the hope that the journey gives you enough insight so that you can go and have a look at your own portfolio and try and picture what is the best move for you considering where you bought. Okay, so first things first. On the daily time frame, I don't see any sign that this is a bottom. Okay, doesn't mean that we can't bounce. Remember now, you don't necessarily have to have a bullish thing, but I'm just saying that there is no sign for this. What I would want to see though is, and I'm considering these candles here. I'm not looking at the entire structure, guys. But what I would consider though is if we look at where the last big demand zone was. Okay, so That's where my last buy was. There's a demand zone sitting in there, okay? And there's a demand zone sitting in there. So it means that particularly, or looking where we are, anywhere between 90 and where my entry and my original stop was, could be where the market finds a base, okay? The only problem is the fact that the momentum is here now, and we're not dabbling around there where there's support in the narrative. It means that the market can overshoot the target. So simply put, there's panic sellers, there's stops. It's literally the thing goes past where its true valuation is for whoever's participating in the market, and then it kind of refreshes and rethinks and continues on its move. So you do get those crazy ones, those crazy shakeouts like that one. I mean, we were going long there, and I wanted to see the support test, and then the liquidity just took us out. Okay, so shitty day to be in the market that was. Okay, this one was amazing. We kind of bet that the market was going to come back down to this area over here, and what did it do? Shook everybody out, and we were so lucky to buy 19K. So it's a simple thing. So I'm trying to see if I can hopefully get it right to give you guys this again, a version of this. And you can look at the fractal in an essence. We've got our last demand zone, so the market shoots past it, grabs it out, and then gets in. Now, how did I get that analysis, you would ask? Well, very simple. I looked at the following things. I said to myself, okay, the candle that makes the higher high is the buy, is normally the rule that I took, okay? But if we look at all these candles, they've got a very strong base. They don't have crazy wicks to the downside. So if I then use this entire structure and say to myself, okay, this is the entire structure that basically drove and made a higher high. The argument was we were going to go down to 19K. Okay. And then because we had our demand raise and everything already drawn out, remember these lines, I draw them once and then I keep them for 5, 6, 7 years. I don't need to change the angle on it. When price meets up with that line, that is when time and momentum hits in. So there's enough confluence that the market's going to move up and so forth and that. So I'm going to do exactly the same now from where we are. I'm saying, okay, I'm still betting we're going to be bullish. Shit is going to get bearish probably first, okay? And those that predicted that will now claim that they're geniuses. I say we take things level by level, okay? So that you cannot claim that you're a genius because nobody really knows. It's either your guess was right or your guess was wrong. It's as simple as that, guys. So I'm doing the exact same, and I'm saying to myself, okay, currently, this is where demand is going to come back into the market. Demand to try and drive this into a higher area. So it means that anywhere where prices are going to meet up with this line is where I would suggest the buy is going to be. So if we bounce here, right now, Elon Musk goes on, or Donald Trump says, I am all invested in Bitcoin, you're going to all of a sudden have a flood of demand entering the market, and it will drive price up. Any what narrative there will be, I will use that to take this position off the table there. Okay, meaning if we push back up 92, if I see a 93 somewhere, I'm closing this position, just this one, okay, with the argument that I know that it's going to get swept up now and price is going to want to go and do what it wanted to do the last time, the unfinished business. It's going to want to try and grab it there. Okay, so there's 15 minutes of me basically telling you that I don't know what's going to happen next on the basis, but this is how I'm going to trade on what I think potentially is going to happen next. So you can laugh at the crazy that is behind it, but it works. Okay. So Alex, just joined 91K. 91 is already smashed. The market is finding momentum, and I think a lot of panic sellers going to in. So we could find a scenario where this thing's going to over accelerate. Okay, so that's the whole thing. So now you can take that information, watch the video again if you want to kind of gauge where we're at, to kind of see what you need to do. Now, zooming this in onto coins like Ethereum and everything else. This is what we had. So let's have a look at our Ethereum analysis. This was hopefully we get above 96. Sorry, there. Hopefully we get above 96 for Bitcoin. If so, Bitcoin will go higher and ETH will come back and turn this into support at a later date. And then we'll be off to the races. Nothing happened. We didn't. We rejected. Okay. So with that, the argument was that this needs to be support. So the buy was $3,400 to the end of last week on the basis that whatever demand created this. So I'm just going to try and draw in a different color so that we can keep track of what I said for you guys as benefit. So you can always verify that I'm not just moving the boxes like some people do when you're not watching. So when we're looking at this, well, I can probably move the whole drawing then in that case as well, but you know those guys. Looking at this demand is the important area where I want to see price hold, because if things are bullish, we don't get lower lows. Simple as that, guys. And that demand failed. Okay. So we consolidated below that and we just swept that up. So the same for Ethereum. 3,200 thereabout would probably be your relief exit if you're in a leveraged position or you're drowning a little bit, with the argument that Ethereum will still go to $2,800. Now, zooming out, it's not a bad thing. It basically just is going to bring it into this area where the market's going to chop, which means alt season is not going to happen for next few months, perhaps. Okay. And let me explain. Looking at the Bitcoin dominance, I wanted to see this thing break trend like it did, and then make a lower low to establish a trend to the downside. Okay. But if I scale this up much higher, what the dominance is telling me is, okay, I broke trend. Great. Now I need to create a bearish pivot, meaning do that. Okay. Which means Bitcoin sells off maybe 87, 85, thereabout, but Ethereum loses 30, 40% of its value. Cardano goes from 90 cents maybe back to 50 cents. Those kind of things. And all that will do is drive the dominance in there so that we have a wave on wave divergence, and then maybe alt season, which means here's another scary one, that can happen while we're still in the middle of the purple zone. Meaning, if we look at this chart, and I'm going to repeat the idea, the reasoning behind it for those that are new or maybe haven't seen this. Very simple. On a time-based analysis between halvings, we find that Bitcoin tops out around the 38.2, the blue area, okay? And bottoms around the 618, the orange area between halvings. And if we have an alt season, basically what happens is when Bitcoin starts getting close to topping out, showing signs that the momentum is gone, that's when the alts dominate. But there's still an underlying fact, Bitcoin remains bullish. Now, where we are now, we're sitting in an area where Bitcoin, for the daily time frame, is no longer bullish. And the dominance has at no stage sold off. So it means that the market is still the same as the other cycles, but it's going to print an even different picture than you thought what's going to happen. So it's basically going to say to us, at this stage, we might have a crazy wick down, go to 71. Let's just be extreme real quick, okay? And then still close bullish at the end of the month, okay? And that might drive this dominance to give us a wick and a higher high in that area so that we can get that bearish divergence and then only sell off. Because whether it's this month or that month, on the big scale analysis of Bitcoin over 15-year period, a month is not going to make a big difference. And that's it. Now, typically January start lazy, and near the end of January, they end up really strong. That's it. That's how we got these longs. That was end of January. I was extremely bullish, and because the market was poised to get, and we had an amazing journey up till date. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Okay. So let's quickly head over to Ethereum then. So that's Ethereum. Let's have a look at Cardano. So had an insane move. That was the buy zone. We had a nice rally. I said, sell some. Don't sell all. Sell some, because you never know what's going to happen in the market, and expect the price to go and bounce around the 50 level at least. Okay. And then from that point onwards, we didn't make a higher high. So the higher high didn't happen. And we're at that point where we're basically seeing whether this is going to hold. Okay, so it's iffy. I'm looking at various analysis, and it is iffy at the moment where the support's going to be held for these altcoins, which means that Cardano, which had the latest big move, or the big move, is probably going to give back a lot. So you're going to see this thing go down to 60 cents minimum if Bitcoin loses any more support. Okay, so be prepared for stuff like this. Now, the same will almost look like, if we can use Doge as an example, okay, big gains, it's going to go back down 15, 18, maybe 20 cents, okay. You can look at stuff like comp. I mean, our average buy price for comp is 50, okay, or my average buy price. So I'm still sitting at 72, but probably it will go right back down to my buy price. So tough decision, okay. Do I want to leave the little bit of profit that's there and just let it go to waste? Or do I think about adding to the momentum, selling, and then buying when it's there again? So it's a tricky one. Okay. Solana, my last buying price is 120 something, somewhere there. I bought somewhere there. Where we are now, we're falling into that bad area of the range. So Solana as well. It opens the door 150 minimum, okay? And then if at that stage demand kicks in, depends on where Bitcoin's going to be, because clearly Bitcoin's not going to fall as hard as these alts. That's when you're going to need to now know to pull the trigger. Okay, so that's the big thing. So Solana 150 probably. Okay, Uniswap. Let's quickly have a look at Uniswap. Buy zone. I didn't chart this when you guys were there, so I didn't give you guys official sell zone. Uni probably going to come back $8, $7.50. Realistically, I'm not guessing here, guys. Although it might sound that way in this thing. Auction theory says the market will move in these quarter levels, okay? Think about it. We topped at 20, okay? Now we're going to try and turn 10 into support. Fall below 10, the quarter of that is 750. So somewhere there. And if you look at funny enough, there's a lot of resistance there that was turned to support. So if the market wants to go find, when was the last time there was an agreement that this is cheap and there's going to be buyers? The buyers are going to wait here. So if that's the range where the buy happens, somewhere in the middle, that's where it's going to sit. 8, 9, thereabout. So I'm saying 750 just to be conservative with that. Okay. So there you have that one for Uni. Now, when we look at the small ones, because there was a couple of small ones, we're going to make so much money on these. Coins like these, okay. So we had the sell-off. I gave you guys the action zone. Remember, this is when I said buy, double your money, get out, okay? When we were here, I said, nah, it's not looking good. Take action. When it gets there, get your ass out. Take the little bit of profit that's there. So didn't double your money. And then it's going to probably go low. So these are going to sell off. Market's going to hurt you. So if you're too scared to act when it was there or greedy, now is your time where it's going to really panic stress you. And where is this thing going to find support? Either there or even as low as that. As simple as that. So your small coins are going to hurt you, my friends. It's a scary time to be in for that kind of move. Centrifuge. Oh, this thing just doesn't want to go, huh? So we looked at grabbing it there. We had our TP there, and I've been saying, okay, I've got my position waiting. But where it's at now, and I'm going to leave the squibbles there, but I just want you guys to kind of see where it's at now. It's hanging by a fingernail. If it falls through, this thing's going to go make a lower low. It's gonna hurt a lot of people. Okay. XRP, I think that's a valid request. What about XRP? XRP, I mean, let's remember one thing. Say the market is dumping, and at that stage, there was one coin that just moved at the right time, So the XRP pump was very late. New traders will look at this, and new investors would say, okay, well, all my bags are doing badly, and this one is doing great. Let's get in on the good one, Don't stay on a sinking ship when rockets are clearly passing you by, It's a good way to think about it. So you'll find scenarios where the market sentiment on one coin is completely the opposite than what is happening everywhere else, meaning XRP had an insane pump when a lot of other coins were going down, didn't retrace to that same extreme. I wanted to see this thing go that day because people were fleeing to it, not necessarily fleeing to stable. So the underlying sentiment was they were still bullish. I'm bearish enough to sell what I have, but not sell it to USDT. I'll just sell it to a better coin. But when that sentiment changes, it will potentially do exactly the same. Sell off, maybe go to $1.30 or something like that. Okay, simple. Okay, hope it makes sense. What I'm saying, And if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Tell me, explain to me what I'm doing that you don't agree on. Okay, so RUNE, buy zone, action zone. Okay, wanted to see more buy, lost support. So RUNE's going to hurt you. So it's going to go back to the last time where the demand is going to be. So we're going to sweep this low, probably go as low as that. It's a sucky time in the market, guys. That's why, there's no guarantees. So I think that's what's going to do. There's a few more coins that we were looking at the beginning of the week. Let's have a look at them. Okay, ZEREBRO. What did I say? Buy there, buy on support. Now, if it falls below it, price discovery. Now, this was on the 4 hour, and I explained to you guys that we had support structure and an and. Now, what do I do with the coins that I bought? Because there's no stop. I don't have any stop on these things, okay? So the hope was, in this case, go there and I can sell. Action zone, okay? No action zone. That's why this is the first buy. And anything I buy for the first time, I just use a quarter of the money I had envisioned to spend on it. So now it can fall. It can fall to zero almost for what I get, okay? I still have 3/4 of what I wanted to spend. And then when it builds a new base, I will then reassess and re-enter building on that, which means although these initial purchased coins are really expensive in relation to where the rest of the money is going to get spent, okay, my average price is going to be very close to my entry at that stage, which means I can really quickly recoup this and actually trade myself out of, between brackets, it's not trade, invest myself out of a bad investment, okay? Because this one gone sour, simple as that, okay? A116Z, same thing. I said, wait 2 weeks on this one. Well, not same thing, different thing. Said, wait 2 weeks. Why? When they launch, they'll build a base. If they don't build a base, they're going to free fall to the floor, and they're going to do that until they find support, until everybody that wanted to sell gets the hell out. So this thing is on its way. So that's it. Let this thing fall. We'll wait for it, and then we're going to grab it. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. Netmind token. Okay. I'm going to go back weekly time frame. That's the appropriate time frame for this. Okay. What have we done? So here's a good example of what A16Z is going to do. Okay. Falling now, builds a base. This one has now built a base. The question is this base going to be turned into support? That's the big question. Okay. And you now need to decide, is this a good time to buy? Because bottoms will always look like there's going to be more, and tops will always look like there's going to be more. Simple as that. Bottoms are bearish, tops are bullish. It's just okay. You're never going to get a bearish top. Okay. So if you work on that sentiment idea, the big question now is that, okay, this looks bearish, but will there be more people selling? The big sell already happened. Okay. And for me, this is a coin that I would consider starting to buy in. Okay. Prime. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. Buy zone, higher high. It's going to go back test. It's going to go back to 10. Okay. That was a sell from this point. 10 is a really good area. Want to see this range get tested, which means that you still have a second opportunity to get in. Now, the scary thing is, though, if we do this, we start going and we can't reclaim 15, because then this is going to go down to much lower. That's now maybe looking too far ahead of time. So let's just first look at 10, good buy zone. Okay. Then we looked at Akash. Okay. So I'm looking for this thing to do the following. Move into this zone. Okay. Big consolidation. We're at support. If it loses it, it's going to look exactly like Ethereum. Okay. It's going to wick into that area. That's the range where I'm going to try and look to grab it. Okay. If we look at this one, the argument was when you have triangles, 65% of the time, they break in favor of the trend that created them. It was going up. Okay. Now that it's not doing that, that idea is gone. It's invalidated. And this one will probably try and build support here at 90 or $1. Okay. So I wouldn't even touch it at the moment. It's a sad thing, but I won't even touch it at the moment. Okay. CSIX, still in that reinvestment zone. This one, for the bigger picture, I would say, wait, you probably get a little bit of better discount on there, but it is a really good coin that I would want to invest, okay, in this moment. So what am I saying? Bitcoin, don't buy the dip. It's not worth the investment. Ethereum, yes, there's chance for 2,800. Cardano, yes, there's chance for it, but at the moment, no. But then I'm looking at these ones and saying, okay, right, if I am smart about it and say, okay, I've got $1,000 to spend on carbon. I wanted to buy it, but now it's bearish and we all want to buy lows, but when it's low, we tend to want to wait. Take $250 of that and buy this one, okay? And then when you're successful, wherever that would be, then the other money gets added in onto strength. Now you're doing it the smart way around, okay? If it fails, you're losing on $250. This thing can go to zero, and then you would have lost $250, okay? And if it goes lower, as per the strategy, you'll find a new base, new structure, because as this thing goes lower, the ranges will start reducing as well. And then you can look to try and do that again with another $250, which means your average price will then come back down much lower, and you will be able to get out of this bad position much quicker. Or if it then goes through and tests it, you can turn a bad investment into a good one and then still ride it out, okay? By just being patient, looking at the zones, taking your time, okay? So that's basically all that I wanted to share with you guys. So in conclusion, guys, I don't want you to be uber bearish, please. You know, the dangers are there. The market's going to want to sell off. It's just there. Fear is there. We're testing bottom areas right now. So there might be these knee-jerk moves, which means that my $87,000 BTC position means that I'm going to be taking profit when it pushes back up to 93. At the moment, there is a slight rally. Bitcoin is pushing a sitting, and it should at least go to at least 93. I don't think that's going to go much higher than that before more momentum's going to kick that in. And then I want to short this. I'm going to trade this aggressively and short that from that point onwards. Okay. And that's it. That's basically all that I wanted to share with you guys for now. Okay. Don't let this discourage you. Okay. There's some coins that you need to be buying the dips now, like I shared. And then there's some coins that you need to wait because their time will come. Okay. And it's as simple as that. If you ladder yourself into the positions responsibly using this simple strategy, you will be okay. All right. Is there anything that you guys want me to chart real quick before I say goodbye? Something that you may be really underwater with? I'll start off with Filecoin and Kusama. Okay. Let's quickly scroll down to Filecoin. While that happens, I just want to take a sip of water, guys. Else my tongue is going to stick to the top of my mouth. Okay, thank you very much. We had a buy, moved into the imbalance. Now, what do I mean by imbalance? Let's scale this up into the weekly time frame. Okay, price sold off too quickly. Okay, now Filecoin is going to either decide whether this is going to be support or, and this is the scary thing now, guys, and this is what makes me a little bit jittery about this one. If this thing pulls like Ethereum, goes through this buy zone, you're in price discovery to the downside. Who knows who's going to keep on selling then? And then there's going to be really bad. Okay, so I would look to get in on this on the basis that the outlook for this thing can be horrendous. So it might be a good deal, but make sure that whatever you spend is available or is prepared to take that ride if you're wrong, okay? And you'll have the cash to buy it later on, because there's going to be another discount. Simple as that. Plan for the failure, then it's not going to catch you by surprise. So this is a really good area. So Filecoin may be going into $4, $5. I'm going to look to grab it. Okay. This, just like this move was too fast, this move was too fast. So it had to give back. And hopefully then it will establish, quiet down, and then build a trend and go. Okay. So that's Filecoin. Let's see what else we have. And he asked for Kusama as well. Polkadot has kind of died off. I mean, it was such a hype thing. Maybe I'm just on the wrong channels, but you know, last bull cycle, everybody was raving about Polkadot, and when they rave about it, Kusama will do well. And yeah, so you're sitting in a situation where, yeah, it's a little bit of a, I don't know, it's a tough one for me. Maybe their next range, their next time round, when the market does go, all this has been accumulated now, and then Kusama will start moving. Because you can clearly see, if I do this, and you look at this picture, emotional market cycle, where it's just a question of when this depression is going to turn to disbelief, it's going to turn back to hope, and then another cycle. So that's it. And the same for DOT, for that matter. Okay, so it is a really good one to invest in for that reason. But you need to understand, and remember, not financial advice here, guys. Treat me as an idiot, okay? That if it fails and goes below this, it's going to want to go to really cheap areas. And then you can use basically almost XRP as a really good case study. You know, XRP launched, went to about $3, first bull cycle came down. Last bull market went to $1 something, I think. And it went lower. They would say never going to fall below 26 cents, and it went way lower. So it's that can still happen. So it means that this thing can still consolidate below that range there. So you need to be able to say, okay, this is a bargain to buy. Definitely grab some, but understand that if it fails, you don't want to be wrecking yourself, because it's going to take so much longer to get it back if you do that. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's see what else. Sui. Big deal for Sui. Let's maybe have a look for Sui. Okay. Now, I've been tracking Sui with you guys since I grabbed it. Now, this was marked out there, and the hope was we were going to get somewhere there long ago. So is Sui now done? Is it over? And it's not bearish yet. But will I invest in Sui now? No. Won't invest in this now. Okay. This was our buy zone. We took some profit there, buy zone. I fucked up that low there. I didn't quite get it. Okay. And then the momentum kicked in, and I grabbed some Sui, half-assed it around these red lines. And that's my Sui journey. Okay. Sometimes you get it wrong. It's just the way it works. Okay. From this move on, we were looking that there's a potential to sell at $2 and another buy zone at $1.70. It played out nicely. Okay. And then from that point onwards, I said, let's just track the momentum and let this thing go as much as it wants to. And then we had another bearish divergence, and I used, again, I said, another pivot support, good area to buy. And but now your worry is this area, as soon as you lose momentum, is going to be the first one that's going to end up creating a lot of selling pressure. Now, I want to bring in the volume real quick. So I just want to load a volume. I can actually use the trend scope. Look at the volume-based momentum. I rather want to look at the trading range. Now, this indicator, you can go and get it, guys. It's for free. I made it. It's there. You can just type in trend scope and you'll find it. Okay. So it basically, let's take away the RSI. As you can see, high volume at the bottom accumulated the supply. Okay. As the market was going, more demand was in the market. The volume kept on growing. And here you have a really good divergence. Volume has subsided. So the question is, all these buyers, will they keep buying? No, they've already bought, and that's why they will be selling. And if the volume gets too low, that's when capitulation will happen. So at this stage, this thing is due to go right back down to $3.80 and still be bullish. It's not to a point where it's going to capitulate, because when this thing does break through there, we'll have another opportunity to get out there and then go back down. You will find that volume quiets down and then picks up again near the end. Okay. And that's it. So it's still so far away from that. But at the moment, if you bought $5, you're going to be shitting yourself because you're down 25%. Okay. And I can completely relate and understand. You know, it can feel horrible if that happens. Okay. So let's take away all this and let's just have a look at this. Another way you can track this is by using the time-based, the momentum, what's the thing? Speed resistance fan. And the setting that I'm using for that is 38.2. So how does that line work? Well, simple. Take the bottom of the move, pull it all the way to the top, and as long as we stay within that line, it's still bullish. Now, I would say that that's the 2, and it will still be bullish. Okay. So there's yet again a lot of room for this thing to go down and still be bullish, but it's not a good investment anymore. Because the potential for downside, if this thing turns wrong, is bad, okay? And I would rather wait for that to grab it again, meaning we could be there in this relationship, okay? And we're still going to come right back down to this area before we go into our next bull cycle. Makes sense, okay? Let's see what else. I think that's everything for today. 500 people joining in live. Guys, do me a solid. If you find the content helpful, give me a like. Tell me what you like and what you didn't like about it in the comment section. I would love to know how I can tailor the content to make it a little bit more digestible for you guys and so forth. Do me a favor, share it with somebody else. We're not trying to sell you on hopium or get you to FOMO in on stuff. I'm just trading and investing for a living, and I'm sharing my journey with you guys. And that's all I'm doing. So that's it. Last little thing, support the content. If you don't mind, open a Bybit account or transfer your existing one, your KYC, to a new account. It takes literally a minute. And you can do that by using my link. And if you head over to the Discord, okay, and you go to the navigation channel, very simple, join my Discord, links again in the video description. You can go to Bybit and there's all the information how to do this. One last word of caution, guys. This time of the year, there's going to be a lot of scammers because there will be new interest entering the market. So please, there's no special deals or anything backdoor deals that I have. If it's not within the physical chat areas, private purchase, no hacker can talk to you within these channels. Simple as that. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's not real. So if somebody's DMing you and saying I chose you for a better deal or something, you know, laugh them out of the room. It doesn't exist. It's as simple as that. Okay, guys. So just be safe as well. I'm just trying to remind, because there's guys that make it a living to try and get your money from you. So they extremely convincing in the way that they do that. Okay, so no backdoor deals, nothing like that. There you are. And if you want to join my premium group, because I saw their question about, is there a premium? Yes, there is a premium group. There's the investment group section. If you want to join it, simple. Yet again, in the navigation, there's a tab there. Go and read through the stuff there. And open a ticket if you want, and then we can talk it there. But that's it, simple as that. Okay, there you have it, guys. You have a lovely day. Thanks so much for taking the time watching the video with me. Let's see what else I have in the comments. If there's maybe one thing that I want to miss, John, sorry, my friend, I'm not gonna chat stuff that I haven't looked at. Like I said, I stepped in it Friday. I don't want to step in it again. I'll go and check, and tomorrow, if it's truly something that I want to chart, I'll definitely do it for you, my friend. So please be back tomorrow. Conclusion, closing words. Let's maybe do this. Closing words. Okay. Big moves like this, if you zoom in too much, if you're on the 15-20 minute trying to make a good hodl portfolio decision, you're guaranteed to fuck it up. Excuse my friends. It's just the French. It's the reality. Okay. Keep sight of the big picture. This thing, when it's there, support's lost, demand's lost. I'm exiting this long. because even if I'm wrong, I'll rather be wrong and pay more for it, but then have the confidence that I know that there's a better chance that it's going to work. Because where we are now, we're on the wrong side of this red line, and we've got demand sitting down there. And now the reality is that it's going to want to try and drive to that demand. Okay, 96 has now been, instead of trying to go to support, turn to resistance. That's it. So I could have basically just said that to you guys and ended off the YouTube video and not spend 45 minutes with you. But I hope that during the journey, you also learned some valuable TA and investment tips and skills of how I analyze the charts and stuff that you can apply to your own, trunk of tricks. Trumpster, Alex, Dreamcatcher, you guys have a lovely day. For everybody else as well, I mean, I wish I could do everybody's coins, talk to everybody, but we are limited with time. Trump said, I'm lucky to buy very low, so I'm taking the bull run. Yes, and it's a good way to think about it. But just like that lows was scary, some of these coins that we have now, their lows is going to be just as scary. So buying low, it means that you sometimes need to be brave in a market that clearly is showing that there's potential for a lot of pain. So just be, I'm just going to try and help as much as I can sometimes. There you have it. Okay, guys. Tony, thanks so much for the kind comment as well. Have a lovely day. I'll be back tomorrow morning for another trade podcast where we're going to be looking at this. Now, this was my ETH long from this morning that clearly screwed me over. I went short here, and I kind of find a way to even lose money there. I don't know. I need to go and have a look at myself. I had a couple of good short entries, and then greed got the better of me, and then long story short, I'm down money. So I need to go and laugh at myself a little bit and learn my lesson. And I'm looking to grab a little bit more trades on this. But the overwhelming direction from this morning was that we're going to go down. So the 4-hour analysis, everything was we were going to go down for Bitcoin. And the hope was that ETH was going to hold. The fact that it isn't holding means that, the HODL portfolio analysis now for Ethereum, ETH is going to go back into $2,800 level. And I'm going to be bullish to try and be bearish. That's the rule. The same for BTC. I'm going to try and be bullish to be bearish. Okay, so this is the buy zone I shared with you guys on YouTube this morning. The reaction is happening in the right area. All is fine. Now I just want to see how this thing consolidates and so forth, because the larger time frame zones are still there. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Go watch that video. I give a lot of info on how I get to these points and stuff there. That's just